Hi, this is Phil Shapiro in Tacoma Park, Maryland. I'm creating this screencast video to share some tips and experiences I've had in how public libraries can help transform a person's sense of thinking about themselves. So, I created this PDF here. I have a Linux laptop and with a couple of slides in it. I use LibreOffice Impress, free software. And this is for the Library 220 Worldwide Virtual Conference. Thank you, Steve Hargadon. I'm going to share 4 examples here and some tips on how to scaffold personal transformations at the public library. I'm going to be talking about a website builder, digital creator. That was a 4th grade student, a new tenor guitar player. That was a 9th grade student, nocturnal computer geek, a woman in her 80s, and a nonagenarian problem student in my senior's computer class. So let's start off with the first story. A 4th grade girl from Ethiopia came to my computer center where I work, and she needed help with spelling. Her spoken English was good, her written English was poor. I told her parents, first I took a donated computer to the family. I established trust with the family. I told the family, I would like to teach your daughter how to make a website so that she can write authentically. And the family gave me permission, and I said, I'm not going to put any personal information on the website, no name of her daughter or family contact information. I just want her to have the skills. And they said, fine. So I got that prior buy-in and trust from the stakeholders. And then I was using Google Sites to teach her how to make a simple website, and I wanted to make it playful. I didn't want to teach her how to have the skills on how to make a website. I wanted to teach her how to think of herself as a digital creator, a website builder, not just a content user of the web. So I created a simple website, and I said, I want you to ask a question on your website. A question like, what is your favorite fruits? Or what are your favorite colors? Something like that. I'm going to go to a different part of this building, and on my smartphone, I'm going to look at your website, and I'm going to see your question. I'm going to walk into this room, and I'm going to give you the answer. And I did that. And to build up suspense, I stayed over there like 3 or 4 minutes so that she could imagine somebody far away was looking at her website. I walked into the room where there's a computer center with other students, youth and adults. Also, adults are using our computer center. And I told her the answer to her question, and her eyes went wide. And then she walked around the room. She said, do you want to see my website? Do you want to see my website? Do you want to see my website? So I had some real indications that she had thought of herself in a different way. Fast forward 6 years later, she was in 4th grade there. She comes walking by my office not that long ago. She says, do you still work here? I said, yes. She goes, well, I got into computers in a very big way, and I'm now taking advanced placement computer science in high school. I said, and what grade are you in? And she says, I'm in 10th grade. So based on her physical reaction to my coaching, her eyes were just so wide when she realized that she was contributing to the web and had the skills to make a web page. And then later, when she came back to visit, that was a confirmation that there was a transformation of her sense of self. Now, over here, the new tenor guitar player. Tip no. 1 here. You got to reach people where they are. So sometimes you have to leave the library setting. This particular experience happened at a play event. I'm a play advocate in town. I went over to the house of a friend of mine who was having a play event, Pat Rumbaugh. She is the play lady. Look up her TED Talks, Rumbaugh. Pat Rumbaugh. She has 2 TED Talks on YouTube. And so I planned for a very positive experience. And I went around to the different youth who were volunteering at this event. I said, would you like to learn some guitar? I said, I've got this little 4-string guitar. It's easy to play. And I must have asked about 10 or 15 youth, and most of them said no, but David said yes. And we created this cute little video with him playing Pachelbel's Canon. He had never played guitar before in his life. And after 10 minutes of coaching, we made this YouTube video. David is now a guitar player, whether he wants it or not, and I think he thinks of himself differently. I also protected his privacy. I don't know his last name. I didn't ask permission of his parents. but it's quite appropriate that I could just upload a little video saying David plays tenor guitar, and it's a nice memorial of that day in July 2019 when he played guitar for the first time. Over here we have the nocturnal computer geek, Annie Dais, D-A-I-S. She took my seniors computer class, and she loved the class so much she took it a second time. It was a 6-week class or an 8-week class. And I invited her to be part of a little promotional video that the city television was shooting. And we put it on YouTube. It's called Seniors Computer Class, Takoma Park, Maryland. And if you go to 2 minutes and 30 seconds, you can hear Annie Dais talking about how this class transformed her life. She was retired. She didn't know what hobby she was going to take up. She took up computers, and now she crawls into bed at 3 a.m. after watching YouTube videos. And so she's a very quiet student in class. The quiet ones sometimes have the most interesting stories to tell. I was hoping that I could rope Annie Dais back into class to be a volunteer, but she chose not to do that, and I wasn't too disappointed. I was hopeful she might come back as a volunteer, but she was off too much having fun with computers, and that was all good. Dottie Brown signed up for my computer class at the age of 96, and she was a problem student in my class because she used to race ahead and the other students couldn't catch up with her. So I was explaining something, she would practice, and she'd ask me a question. The other students were left in the dust. The students in their 60s were left in the dust. So I was teaching to her interests and her talents. She loved logic puzzles. So in this photo right here, she's doing a logic puzzle, and she's having the time of her life. And it's a very difficult puzzle, and I'm just about to explain to her how to do the hints, and she just told me right when this photo was taken, I don't play logic puzzles with hints. And I thought that was rather amusing, so we were both laughing. I got to know her. I took her donated computer to her house. And the most meaningful thing she ever told me was, I don't feel pain in my body when I'm in your computer class. So the class was a 2-hour class from Wednesdays from 10 a.m. to noon. And there was lots of laughter in the class. I was a paid instructor, and 2 volunteers. We were constantly making fun of each other in the class, the teachers. And the class was very spontaneous, fun for the teachers, and pretty amusing and entertaining for the students. So Dottie Brown, being almost 100 years old, her body systems were beginning to shut down, and she had pain in her body. And this computer class was an anesthetic. She didn't feel pain in her body when she was in the computer class. So hope those tips are helpful. I made the screencast with some free software called Simple Screen Recorder. I have a ThinkPad Carbon X1 laptop. I bought it on eBay for under $200. It's from about 2014, I think. Early version ThinkPad Carbon. I hook it up to my 4K monitor. I have a mini DisplayPort to DisplayPort cable. I use a Logitech webcam up there. I'm using some free software for webcam called GUVC View. And in case you want to see my video book reviews, I have a website with video book reviews. I like to use Google Sites. And that's it. Thanks for having me participate in this virtual conference. Phil Shapiro in Takoma Park, Maryland.